Hello, everyone. I'm Dan Balistrero from MasteringVoiceover.com. Everybody talks about how competitive voiceovers are, and that's true, but everything is competitive. Don't even worry about that. So today I'm going to give you 5 reasons why you can succeed as a voiceover artist. Number 1, all kinds of voices are needed to communicate with different people. We all like people who are like ourselves. We also like people who sound like us. Every year, the advertisers and producers use a greater variety of voice talents to sell their products and narrate their projects. Advertisers and casting directors need a wide variety of voice types in order to sell to all kinds of people. The demand for a wider variety of voices is greater every year. Sometimes there is a misperception that only dramatic or impressive voices can do voiceovers. That simply is not true. There was a time in the 50s and the 60s when the sound of the announcer, big deep voice, was completely dominant, but not any longer. So if you love speaking, playing with words, if you like language and expressing yourself, you could be part of this very lucrative industry. Your own uniqueness can be the reason you make a lot of money. Often people try to be like everyone else in voiceovers. Being different can make you rich. Of course, you have to fit into the various styles, but your own individual sound can bring a richness to someone's project that will be perfect for them. Think how many times we haven't understood an explanation until someone who is more like ourselves explained it to us. Different people are needed to explain things to different people. One type of voice might not be able to convey the ideas to one person that another person saying the same exact words can explain with perfect clarity. Many times a less dramatic voice is perceived as more accessible. Obviously, this depends on the person who is listening, what is being talked about, and what they are drawn to. But having said that, if we are seeking assurance or affirmation, then we tend to prefer a more authoritative voice. On the other hand, if we are trying to learn new concepts or instructions in a new field, a more gentle voice can often help us understand better. Why? Well, we sometimes feel slow or foolish if we don't understand something right away. It's a basic human tendency to be impatient about the learning process. Consequently, a more gentle, less dramatic voice allows us to relax more and not feel as impatient or embarrassed if we are having trouble grasping a concept. So, there's not only room for all of you, but a need for all of you and your voices. Number 2, it's more about persistence than anything else. This is always an interesting fact of life that I never get tired of musing over. The main question really isn't, is there room for you in this competitive field? The question is, how badly would you like to do this for a living? Everything is a result of process, and process requires focus and commitment. We all have to do the work to acquire skills and develop a familiarity and proficiency in the world of voiceover and voice acting. It's a lifelong sport and a fun and rewarding one at that. So I'm pointing out that too often people think of persistence only in regard to making an effort to obtain work. Well, of course, that's important, but that isn't where it ends. I've always found that the more I develop my skills in all areas, cold reading skills, the ability to do different reads, voice development and breathing exercises, marketing skills, networking skills, and technical skills, the luckier I am at getting work. It isn't just persistence, it's persistence in all of the related and necessary areas that are part of the whole. That's important because a partial effort will not lead to success, and you don't want to mistake a partial effort for failure or a lack of talent. This is just nature's way of saying there is more to do. More often than not, it isn't a lack of talent as much as it is a lack of preparation. It is very easy in Los Angeles, or any other city for that matter, to get a little training, jump into networking, to get those jobs. It's important that you don't unintentionally run around in your enthusiasm teaching people that you have underdeveloped skills. Persistence in all areas will lead to you getting work. Number 3, the market is growing and needs more voice talents. Now, we've talked about how clients and advertisers need all kinds of voices to communicate with all kinds of people. But the other fact is that there aren't enough voiceover artists with great technique to satisfy all the different needs out there. Sure, there are many, many people doing voiceover work. But just go to any medical convention in the country, for example, where suppliers are selling goods and services to doctors and hospitals, and listen to the video presentations. It always amazes me that about 2/3 of all the presentations are narrated in an old school, dry, boring style. I think it came from a philosophy that if it's medical, it has to be serious. Well, from my point of view, that doesn't automatically mean dull and boring. It's exciting and fun to figure out how to deliver medical presentations in an interesting way that is easy and fun to listen to and still be completely respectful of the topic and the audience. Number 4, non-union freelance jobs are the rule. The vast majority of all the voiceover work is non-union. All you need is someone who likes your work. In the non-union world, it's just between you and them. As long as you are being paid an amount of money that you think is fair and you agree on where and when, you're in business. Most of these places will ask you to record in your own studio and deliver it via FTP upload. It is cheaper for most places to not have an in-house engineer and studio and to just have us do it. There are so many areas of corporate voiceovers and narrations that it's mind-boggling. On-hold messaging, PowerPoint presentations, corporate narratives, healthcare infomercials, training videos of all kinds, quarterly report presentations, just to name a few. So by all means, go to conventions that interest you and start learning how you can do it better than they do. Take that inspiration and practice, practice, practice. Non-union jobs are much less intense than major jobs like national, commercial, or jobs through voiceover talent agencies. It's the NFL, so to speak. So the intensity and the competition takes place at the highest level. In the non-union world, it is just you and them. It is a good idea to work in the world of non-union in order to prepare yourself for representation with a voiceover talent agency. Number 5, good service is hard to get. You just can't even imagine how hard it is to get good service consistently. There are horror stories everywhere about poor audio quality, poor service, poor voiceover work, and bad attitudes. There are also a lot of fine professionals who take enormous pride in every aspect of their work. You want to be one of those. When you get new accounts, often people will thank you for solving their voiceover problems and tell you how much they appreciate your professional work and always delivering on time. You want to join the ranks of people who take pride not only in the quality of their work, but also the quality of their service. All you have to do is think through how you would want a person to behave if that artist was doing work for you. This is one of the best and most inspiring ways of figuring out what your business profile should be. How do you want to be viewed by your client? And what things can you do to earn that perception? So there are some points to consider. It's not the whole story, but it's a quick look at some of the reasons why you can succeed. Just remember that you can do it if you want to. If you want to, if you mean it, you can do it. See you soon.